Good afternoon, all of you students. So coming back to once again Indian literature, and I'm sure you must have done your homework pretty well. Today I'm going to take certain new authors for you in a very net eccentric uh, teaching. And the next lecture which I have prepared for you all is Manju Kapoor. Manju Kapoor is a big name in India and abroad also, and she is a professional Indian novelist, has been writing in English. She was born in Amritsar in Punjab, lives in New Delhi, and has worked as a professor of English literature at Delhi University under the name of Manjul Kapoor Dalmia. She did her MA from Canada, MPhil from Delhi University, and married to Gun Nidhi Dalmia. She has 3 children, and her works include her first novel, which I'm sure, pretty sure, that you must be knowing this name, Difficult Daughters, 1998, for which she has received the Commonwealth Writers' Prize for the best book, for the best first book in the year 1999. Have you ever heard the name of Difficult Daughters? Yes or no? आप लोगों ने डिफिकल्ट डॉटर्स का नाम सुना था? Be interactive students, be interactive. I told you many a times that हम जो आपसे पूछें कम से कम उसका जवाब तो तुरंत दिया करिए, उसमें डिले मत किया करिए क्योंकि समय वेस्ट होता है. हमें पता चले कि हाँ आपको ये पता था या नहीं पता था. ओके, फाइन. So Difficult Daughters is a well-known name in the not only in the field of English literature, but people from the different sectors in the education field, they have been knowing Manju Kapoor and Difficult Daughters. And her other works include A Married Woman, then Home, Home, and then The Immigrant and Custody. These are actually novels which should be read by every student of English literature, and that too proper novel, that is the original novel, not the summary. You will actually be benefited not only as a student of English literature, but the level of the realism which Dr. Manju Kapoor has attained by writing such fantastic novels like Difficult Daughters, A Married Woman, Home, The Immigrant, and Custody. The novel The Immigrant has been shortlisted for the DSC Prize for South Asian Literature too, and she has also been shortlisted for the Hutch Crossword Prize for Fiction for both A Married Woman and Home. Difficult Daughters, which is one of the best of her novel collection, deals with the late colonization, partition of India, and India's struggle for freedom. On the one hand is the struggle of Indians to be free from the shackles of Britishers, whereas on the other is the female protagonist of the novel Veermati, who is trying to be free from the social limitations and be independent of her own will, leading to a life on her own terms. She wants to take her own decisions, makes her own choices, and be responsible for herself in every way. And in her efforts, she fights against the age-old traditions and wants to be accepted as an individual. That is, individuality is so important. She not only joins MA in philosophy at an institution in Lahore against her parents' wish, at a time when girls were denied even the primary education, but also married a professor in secret to much embarrassed parents. Veermati is indulged in an illicit affair with a neighbor and much married professor. They eventually get married, and Veermati starts living with his first wife, two children, and mother. She continues with her studies in Lahore, and the professor's first wife, in her anger, leaves home in a very trying situation. Veermati continues living in her own terms, denying old age social customs, and continues her fight against all odds in the name of tradition. Ida, 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 Veermati's daughter, is like her only, a free-spirited lady who is not ready to succumb to social values in the name of customs made by the women only. She moves out of an unsuccessful marriage and decides to stay single. And like Veermati, Ida also does not subdue herself to the oppression of society. Both Veermati and Ida are the epitome of modern free-spirited women who live, who like to live life in their own terms. जो आज प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो हम लोग देख रहे हैं समाज का, वो बेसिकली मंजू कपूर की ये नॉवेल्स की ही एक झलक है. एंड सेट mostly in Amritsar and Lahore, the novel Difficult Daughters realistically unravels the political condition of India during the Indian struggle for freedom along with the main plot. And the novel acquired international recognition as it is translated into many languages like Dutch, German, Greek, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, and Marathi. This itself tells the level of the novel and the popularization, how it is popular, that it has been translated into so many languages. The Immigrant, which is considered to be a multi-layered book, is a story of a married couple, Nina and Anand. The novel discusses issues like conjugal relationships, difficulties faced by an immigrant, differences in the East-West cultures, and other issues of married life like extramarital relationships and sexual dysfunction. Nina, a college lecturer of 30 years, who lives with her widowed mother, is aware that she is now on the verge of marriageable age and is therefore ready to get married to an NRI. The name is Ananda, after continuous pricking and probing by her mother. And as she moves from the 1970s New Delhi to Canada to start her new life with her husband, she discovers many new fascinating aspects of life. She finds herself in a fix as she has to adapt herself not only to a totally new culture and way of life, but also to a recently married life that lacks intimacy. Nina is trying hard to get accustomed to the new environment and, however, does not get any confidence from her husband for the same. And in his efforts to deal with his own insecurities, Ananda fails to understand Nina's sentiments. And to top it over it all, when Nina could not conceive, it further soured their relationships. And then Nina decides to set her priorities right in the face of her drab and vapid life in that alien country. So she decides upon doing a librarian course. And unable to cope up with each other's expectations, both Nina and Anand go on to have affairs outside their marriage. Anand gets involved with an English blonde, and Nina submits herself to an English guy. And with their infidelity towards each other, Nothing is left in them for each other. And when Nina's mother expires, she decides to move on in life, going separate ways with Anand. And the novel is set in the 1970s, a volatile time in the Indian politics, and there are few references to Indira Gandhi in the novel. Manju Kapoor has shown a modern Indian woman's perspective with a realistic and the perfect depiction of the mind of an Indian woman. And with her vibrant characterization and simple yet convincing language, Manju Kapoor manages to hold the attention of the readers till the last page, till the last line of the novel. And that is why I told you, whenever you get a chance, you just purchase this novel in original and just read and feel the captivating feel of this novel. Manju Kapoor manages well to capture the issues common to the most immigrants. And what is the common in the most of the immigrants? The feeling of alienation, the feeling of isolation, and the feeling of disconnection. She has beautifully portrayed the Indian immigrant sensibilities, the challenges faced by them, and their efforts to connect with a totally new culture. If we talk about females in Manju Kapoor's novels, they are educated and free-spirited, yet they are not able to get their due in life in the face of the male-dominant world. Once they cross one boundary to move out of its shackles, they are entrapped in each other, and they are thus unable to breathe fresh air of freedom and end up trying to adjust and compromise in all spheres of life. यही हमारे समाज की, यही हमारे हिंदुस्तान की प्रॉब्लम है कि आज हम कहां कहां पहुंच गए हैं, बट वी आर नॉट एबल टू मेक आवर मेल शॉविनिज्म लो और गिव द फीमेल द सेम स्टेटस. दो वी से कि अब लड़का लड़की में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बोथ दे गो टुगेदर हैंड इन हैंड, बट दिस इज एक्चुअली नॉट द सरफेस रियलिस्टिक panorama, or the picture is entirely different. 5 to 10% people of India, they might be following that step of giving the same status to women. I may have no correct percentage, तो मैंने एग्जाम्पल के लिए बोल दिया, बट आई फील समवेयर कि 5% भी अगर हम बोल रहे हैं तो भी शायद वो ज्यादा है. Social issues that Manju Kapoor has tried to raise in her novels include infertility and its stigma, adoption, politics of arranged marriages, infidelity, fight for the custody of child, and so on. There are so many issues in the society. And these whole gamut of social issues dealt by Manju Kapoor well deservingly give her the title of an issue-based writer. So this was in detail about Manju Kapoor. Any questions, students? Good afternoon, all of you. Few students have joined me just now. Any questions? Any questions, students? वंदना, देखिए मैं जो पढ़ाता हूं, जो मैं नाम लेता हूं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपको वो सारे वर्क्स को डिटेल में पढ़ना है. हमारे पढ़ाने में कहीं ना कहीं आपको ये पता चलना चाहिए कि जो हम नाम ले रहे हैं वो आपको पता होना चाहिए, आपको पता है या नहीं है. अगर आपको नहीं पता है तो पता हो जाएगा, एंड विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम यू कैन be aware of yourself that these are the important novels of such and such author, which in the process of your studying, you can build up your level of growth of your intellectual level day by day. It is not a one-day process. You are young students who cannot absorb everything in 2 months or 4 months or even 10 months. Even after 22 years of teaching, I cannot teach you everything. Every day I am filling my pot. So it does not mean कि आपको सब कुछ पढ़ना है. जैसे बहुत सारी चीजों को मैं ही स्टोरी बता दे रहा हूं आपको, तो आपको मैं टेक्निक सिखा रहा हूं कि आप जब सेल्फ पढ़ोगे, जब ये क्लास खत्म हो जाएगी, तो आप कैसे आगे कंटिन्यू करोगे अपने करियर के लिए. So because it has no boundaries, somewhere or the other we have to maintain a certain level कि चलो अब हमने 6 महीने पढ़ाई की है तो हमने यहां तक पहुंच गए, अब हम इसको यहां पे ले चलते हैं, अब हम इन वर्क्स को बारे में पढ़ते हैं एंड कीप ऑन नोटिंग डाउन समवेयर. सो इस तरीके से आपका जो लेवल ऑफ इंटेलेक्चुअलिटी है वो बढ़ती जाएगी. इसका ये सिर्फ आंसर होता है. ओके वंदना. सो नाउ द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक और ऑथर विच आई एम गोइंग टू टीच इज नयनतारा सहगल. नयनतारा सहगल. She is one of the first female Indian writers to receive international recognition and who was born in 1927. Maybe, I don't know how many of you know that she was a daughter of a barrister and a classical scholar, Father Ranjit Sitaram Pandit. Ranjit Sitaram Pandit, जो कि नयनतारा सहगल के फादर थे, he translated Kalhan's Raj Tarangini into English. He was a staunch supporter of Indian independence and his father died in Lucknow prison in 1944. इनकी मदर कौन है आपको पता है स्टूडेंट्स? A well-known name, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. She was India's first ambassador to UN and a freedom fighter. And Nayantara belonged to the prestigious Nehru Gandhi family. Nehru Gandhi family. Nayantara, she attended a number of schools and graduated from a well-known name Woodstock School at Landor in 1943 and did her BA from Wesley College in 1947. She has received an honorary doctorate of letters from Leeds University. She has been an author of many novels, non-fictional works, and a range of political and literary commentaries. She has portrayed the political life of India since independence through her writings. And her works aptly define the historical moments. Her novels, which are often set against the backdrop of the pivotal events in the Indian history, includes, बहुत ध्यान से सुनिएगा इनके नॉवेल्स का नाम. ये सारी नॉवेल्स आपको नेट के पेपर्स में कहीं ना कहीं तरीके से आपको दिख जाएंगी. रिच लाइक अस, रिच लाइक अस 1965, मिस्टेकन आइडेंटिटी 1982, दिस टाइम ऑफ मॉर्निंग 1965, स्टॉर्म इन चंडीगढ़ 1969, द डे इन शैडो 1971. ये कुछ नाम हम सिर्फ आपसे ले रहे हैं. She also started non-fictional works like Chocolate and Prison Cake, very important, Chocolate and Prison Cake 1954, which is also autobiographical in nature. She reveals Nehru's, that is India's first Prime Minister, Nayantara's maternal uncle. She reveals Nehru's political aversion to the rigid economic doctrines in another of her non-fictional works like Jawaharlal Nehru dash Civilizing a Savage World. ये पूरा नाम है इनके fictional work का, non-fictional work का. Jawaharlal Nehru dash Civilizing a Savage World. Apart from this, she has also written some other non-fictional works which include Indira Gandhi dash Her Road to Power, then A Situation in New Delhi. So these are all in-depth study of Indira Gandhi's style of functioning and political leadership. She is also the recipient of various awards, including the Sinclair Prize for Fiction in 1985, Sahitya Academy Award in 1986, and Commonwealth Writers Award in 1987. She has also been an advisor to the Sahitya Academy Board for English from 1972 to 1975. She has served for Indian ambassador to Italy for a short period of time. And after hailing from the most politically family of India, she was never blinded by her privilege. And perhaps she is the fiercest critic of Indira Gandhi and voiced her strong opinion against her cousin for imposing emergency. Nayanthara Sehgal has emerged as a fierce critic of corruption, and owing to her own political family connections, politics reflects in the most of her fictions. She herself sees the novels as a chronology of the emerging India. Though she deals with a variety of themes apart from the Indian political upheavals, her range includes from the personal dilemma to the sacrifices of freedom fighters, from the frustration of the female protagonists to the role of the female in the Indian political scenario, and from the Indian socio-political ethos to colonialism. If we talk about her Prison and Chocolate Cake, which is a memoir depicting the life of the author and her stint with politics as a part of the first family of Indian politics, that is Indira Gandhi, the Gandhi family. And this book is evident enough to prove how truth and real life anecdotes are sometimes more fascinating and gripping than the wild run of the horses of our imagination in the fictional world. This book is about Sehgal's family in the midst of the Indian struggle for freedom and beautifully depicts the sacrifices made by her parents, Ranjit Sitaram Pandit and Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. Both are freedom fighters, and Uncle Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and other relatives of the sake of their motherland. Rich Like Us, the novel, is a political fiction based on the socio-political points of view of a tumultuous period in the Indian history, which is a conglomeration of issues like injustice in society based on caste and class, Indian political situation, accumulation of wealth, patriarchal system, colonial consciousness, injustice thrust upon people during the emergency, and so on. And the novel is a story of two female protagonists, Cockney Mem Sahib, Rose, and young, well-educated, modern and independent Sonali. तो कौन हुए दो? Rose and Sonali. And the plot revolves around the maladjustment of the English lady Rose in the Indian social system and strength, the sacrifices, the compromises of Sonali under the patriarchal system. And the story entwines the fate of these two upper-class females, where Rose struggles to find a home in this foreign land and totally alien customs like sati. And Sonali, who is the epitome of the growing independent woman who has faced all the hurdles and yet has managed to face the challenges of life with her sense of tolerance. Emergency has come to an end of dream for this idealist, as she has to bear the brunt of the harshness of the regime as she was forced out of her job as a result of her objection to the setup of the irrelevant factory. Thus, apart from the story of the Rose and Sonali, Rich Like Us also captures the time when the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had declared emergency in the year 1975, where Nayanthara Sehgal has realistically captured the struggle by common people to live in a time of political upheaval and social reorganization. Then, Mistaken Identity. Mistaken Identity by Nayanthara Sahgal is a tragi-comedy filled with rebellious vehemence and the passing away of the monarchy foreground against the colonial India. The story is based on the zamindari system in Uttar Pradesh and the conspiracy trials of the 1920s. The plot has a rich playboy in prison with political prisoners at the time of Gandhi's marches and hunger strike and imprisonment at the backdrop of the Meerut case. And Sehgal beautifully depicts how lack of communication and the lack of mutual understanding cause marital disintegration, leading to emotional and spiritual void. And though primarily hailed as a political novelist, this novel of Sehgal puts her in the league of the feminist authors, and her rebellious spirit is quite vocal in Mistaken Identity, and her concept of liberation reaches its zenith as the female protagonist in the novel is out of an out rebel. Her concern for women, however, is that of a humanist more than it is of a feminist. So, replete with mystery, with gentle humor, Mistaken Identity is more than a story of love and obsession. And the novel deals with the man-women relationships inside and outside the ambit of wedlock, universal brotherhood, and some other social, political, and cultural issues. We can say that this book ends up or sums up the turmoil of India in the twilight years of colonization. If we talk about Nayanthara Sehgal, she has dealt with many themes in her novels with political genres as the main aspect of her work. She has explored religious themes, she has explored significant events in Indian history and the problem of women in the society. And during the later years of her writing, Sehgal became more popular as a feminist writer seeking independent existence of women. And her women characters are victims of orthodox Indian society engaged in the search for self, khud ka search, self for self. And Nayanthara Sehgal's works have an inkling of the feminist concern, where her women characters are victims of conventional Indian society. She feels strongly about women exploitation and demands social justice for them through her works. Her novels are gripping with unexpected denouements. Zadatar works open a window on the significant period of Indian history, both from the personal and public perspective. नयनतारा सहगल ने कहीं खुद लिखा है, my novels had political backgrounds because politics happened to be my natural material. It was not something out there happening in the country. It affected our family life at home. ये उन्होंने खुद अपने कहीं नॉवेल में कोट किया है. So this is Nayanthara Sehgal. Any questions, students? Any questions you would like to ask? So the next author would be Sarojini Naidu, also known as the Nightingale of India, and an Indian independent or Indian independence activist, also a great distinguished poet, a great orator, a great administrator, born in 1879. After doing matriculation from the University of Madras, she traveled to England to study at King's College London and then at Cambridge. She was also an active politician, a born natural poetess, and the first Indian woman to become the president of the Indian National Congress, and the first woman to become the governor of Uttar Pradesh. She was born in Hyderabad, and her father was some Mr. Chattopadhyay. He was a doctor of science, means DSc, from Edinburgh University. And even his father, her father, was the founder of the Nizam College of Hyderabad. And her mother, Sundari Devi, was a renowned Bengali poetess. Sarojini Naidu was the eldest among her 8 siblings. Her father wished her to become a mathematician or a scientist, but he realized her inclination towards literature and poetry. Her father later on also supported her decision to go to an intercaste marriage to Dr. Govindarajulu Naidu. And so she married her friend, breaking all the bonds of caste and community. And the Naidu couple had 4 children. Padmaju, Naidu's daughter, followed her footsteps and became a noted politician and published a collection of poems entitled The Feathers of the Dawn. The Feathers of the Dawn. Sarojini Naidu is well acclaimed both for her contribution to poetry and to the Indian fight for independence. She has to her credit a full-length poem of 1300 lines entitled The Lady of the Lake, which she has written when she was a child, during her childhood. And her first collection of poems, Golden Threshold, was published in 1905, followed by many others like The Bird of the Time, The Broken Wings, Feast of Youth, The Magic Tree, The Wizard Mask, and A Treasure of Poems. And in 1916, she published a biography of the Muhammad Ali Jinnah titled The Ambassador of Hindu-Muslim Unity. She was given the name Bharat Kokila on account of the beautiful and the rhythmic tone of her poem that could be sung as well. She was a lover of nature. She saw things of beauty with a childlike enthusiasm, and she had a natural inclination towards beauty in nature and various colors of Indian cultural heritage. Her major themes you will find were nature, love, folk life, death, patriotism, and mysticism. And her poetry is also marked with the intense lyrical quality, which are rich in symbolism, imagery, and mysticism. Her poems blended mysticism with Indian mythology in her poems, which gives a very unique fervor. Her initial compositions were in traditional English metrical forms that was concentrated on Western themes. She later included Indian subjects in her writing upon the insistence and advice of Mr. Edmund Gosse, Gosse. Her works include poems of patriotism, serious themes like death, grief, sorrow, and also those describing Indian culture. And through her poetry, she has interpreted the soul of India to be the West, bringing out the enchanting glimpse of Indian sensibility, culture, and tradition. She is also widely admired for her deft handling of the English language. And it is rightly said that her poems had English words but an Indian soul. Later on, she was deeply influenced by Gandhiji's ideals and principles. She fully devoted herself for the cause of attainment of freedom for her motherland. And in the wake of the partition of Bengal in 1905, she took the responsibility of awakening the women folk from their deep slumber and inculcated in them a passion for patriotism. And the dream of an independent India became the heart and soul of her work. And during her stint in politics, she gave up silk, she gave up jewelry that she was otherwise very fond of, and came to Khadi to encourage the Swadeshi movement. As a leader, she used her skill at oratory to influence innumerable people to come up for the cause of freedom struggle. Just I would like to ask one more question to all of you students that uh, should I should we continue with more Indian literature like tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 3 3 3 4 3 4 lectures more on Indian authors, or we should move on to Canadian literature now, Canadian. So just आप लोगों का क्या मन है ये बताइए. Would you like to continue with Indian literature, or would you like me to start with Canadian literature, जो मेरा next move है? बताइए. ओके, सो यहाँ पे जो स्टूडेंट्स अवेलेबल हैं उनमें ज्यादातर स्टूडेंट्स का ये कहना है, ओके, वंदना, it is actually not a thing of popular or not popular. Net examination never depends on the popularity and non popularity at all. दिमाग से बिल्कुल हटा दीजिए कि वो आपसे बेसलाइन पूछेंगे या नहीं पूछेंगे. They may not ask even a single question on the baseline, which is the most common in the international canvas. They may ask something which is totally unpopular. So ये तो बिल्कुल दिमाग से आप हटा दीजिए कि जो पॉपुलर है वो नहीं पूछेंगे और जो अनपॉपुलर है वो पूछ लेंगे. मोस्ट पॉपुलर दे कैन आस्क, मोस्ट अनपॉपुलर दे कैन आस्क. इट इज एक्चुअली नॉट लाइक दिस. No, it cannot be the criteria at all. Sometimes they ask every time Mulk Raj Anand and those traditional Indian authors. Sometimes they ask most modern Indian writers which even we don't know. So how will the students know? So it is actually not like that. Okay, Vandana. So इसका कोई fixed syllabus ही नहीं है. So whatever you are saying may be correct, may be wrong. It all depends on destiny. कि आप जो पढ़ रहे हैं उसमें से क्या आ गया और कितना ज्यादा आप पढ़ रहे हैं उस कैनवस को बड़ा करिए. That's all. So I'll do one thing. I'll go for a day or two to give you more knowledge on Indian literature and try to get more of, as Vandana you have told me, कि हम और वैसे ऑथर्स को कवर करने की कोशिश करते हैं. We do are more contemporary. Clear? And after a day or two, then we will start with Canadian literature. Fine then, meet you tomorrow. Thank you.